Have you ever spent the night tossing and turning, watching the clock tick minute by minute, wondering, why am I so tired but still can't fall asleep? No noise, just the sound of your own sighs filling the quiet room. You shift positions, adjust the pillow, pull the blanket up again, close your eyes out of habit, but sleep feels like it's waiting somewhere outside the door, hesitating to come in. You're not alone. Many older adults face this same struggle, when night no longer means rest but becomes a silent battle with fatigue and restless thoughts. In this video, we'll gently uncover 6 common reasons why seniors often struggle to sleep through the night. Simple, everyday things that may quietly disrupt your natural rhythm. More importantly, we'll explore practical, kind, and realistic ways to invite restful sleep back into your life without pressure, without gimmicks, just thoughtful changes that respect your stage of life. If this resonates with you, I warmly invite you to subscribe to our channel so we can walk this path toward healthier, more peaceful nights together. And please share your story in the comments, because your experience might be the encouragement someone else needs to know they're not alone, and that deep, healing sleep is still possible. There's a quiet frustration that creeps in when you find yourself yawning before the evening news is even halfway through. You used to be the last one to turn out the lights, reading late into the night, watching a favorite movie, or finishing chores long after everyone else had gone to bed. Now your body starts shutting down by 8:30 p.m., and like clockwork, you're wide awake by 4 a.m., folding laundry before the sun even rises. It's confusing. You haven't changed anything, and yet it feels like your body is running on a schedule no one gave you a heads up about. The truth is, you're not broken, lazy, or doing anything wrong. Your internal clock, your circadian rhythm, has simply shifted, and that's completely normal with age. As we get older, our brains produce less melatonin, the hormone that tells our bodies it's time to sleep. This decline doesn't just affect when we fall asleep, but also how deeply we sleep and how refreshed we feel in the morning. The rhythm that once kept you up until midnight is no longer aligned with how your body functions now. And when you try to push against it, staying up late to finish a book or watching just one more episode, your sleep suffers. It's like showing up to the station after the last train has left. Your body was ready for rest, and now it's simply waiting in limbo, agitated and alert, unsure of what went wrong. What makes it even trickier is that most of us were never told this would happen. There's no guidebook that says, hey, around your 60s, your sleep window will shift and you'll feel tired earlier than you used to. So we blame ourselves. We try to fix it with caffeine or sleep aids, or we get frustrated when lying in bed turns into a waiting game with no end in sight. But fighting your own biology only creates more stress, and stress is one of sleep's greatest enemies. Instead, try listening to your body. If it feels like bedtime at 9 p.m., let it be bedtime. There's no rule that says you have to stay awake just to match someone else's rhythm. Begin creating gentle evening rituals that guide your body into rest. Dim the lights an hour before bed. Turn off the TV a little earlier than usual. Sip a warm drink, water or a non-caffeinated tea, and allow yourself to wind down. These calming bedtime habits for seniors are not indulgences. They're signals. You're telling your body, softly and patiently, that it's safe to let go. This stage of life invites you to move with your body, not against it. By honoring your new rhythm, you're not giving up your independence, you're regaining it in the form of peaceful, restorative sleep. And that, more than anything, is what your evenings should offer now. Not resistance, not regret, but quiet alignment. There's a strange silence at night where everything feels louder, especially your body. That slight ache in your hip that you ignored all day while washing dishes or chatting on the phone. Now it speaks, and it doesn't whisper, it lingers. You shift positions, hoping to find that one magic angle where everything aligns just enough to bring relief. But the more you move, the more aware you become of every sore spot, every stiff joint, every dull throb that's been waiting patiently for nightfall to make itself known. It's a quiet, invisible disruptor of sleep that so many seniors deal with, yet few openly talk about. During the day, movement masks it, but once the house is still and your head hits the pillow, discomfort steps into the spotlight. One friend of mine once joked that her bed looked less like a place to sleep and more like a fortress built entirely from pillows. One under her knees, one behind her back, one between her ankles, two supporting her neck and head. And still, sometimes it wasn't enough. But she wasn't being dramatic. She was adapting. As we age, joints lose cushioning, inflammation creeps in, and our tolerance for even mild pain changes. The mattress that once felt like a cloud might now press against all the wrong places. That favorite sleeping position you've always used. It might no longer serve your changing body. And when sleep is interrupted by pain, even a low, persistent kind, your body never quite reaches the deeper healing stages of rest. You wake up groggy, stiff, and emotionally depleted. It's easy to think we just have to live with it, but small, thoughtful changes can make a world of difference. I remember the night I first tried a hot shower before bed, not rushed, not just rinsing off the day, but really letting the warmth sink into my joints. I paired it with a few drops of lavender lotion, rubbed gently into my shoulders, and for the first time in weeks, my body didn't protest as I lay down. It felt like being told, "You can rest now." And I did. Of course, there are nights when even that isn't enough. That's when it helps to ask for help. Sometimes it's not just age, it's a misaligned mattress, a pillow that's lost its shape, or a medical issue that's gone unchecked. A simple change in sleeping position or a different kind of support can be a turning point. The body speaks louder in the quiet, not to punish you, but to be heard. And when we learn to listen, not with frustration but with compassion, we can begin to respond in ways that invite rest. Sleep doesn't need a perfect body. It needs a body that feels safe, supported, and respected. So, if your nights have felt like a war with your own bones and muscles, consider that maybe your body isn't your enemy. Maybe it's just been asking for a little more kindness. And maybe, just maybe, comfort is still within reach. One pillow, one warm soak, one night at a time. There's something deeply frustrating about finally drifting off to sleep, only to be woken by that unmistakable pressure, the kind that pulls you out of the warmth of your blanket and pushes you toward the bathroom yet again. You walk the familiar path in the dark, half asleep, guided more by muscle memory than sight. One woman joked, "I could make that trip faster than Google Maps could plan the route," and everyone in the room nodded in knowing laughter. It may seem like a small inconvenience, but waking up once, twice, sometimes 3 times a night just to use the bathroom can fracture your sleep into uneven pieces. You may still be in bed for 7 or 8 hours, but your body never quite settles into that deep restoring rest. As we age, this midnight ritual becomes more common. It's not just about the bladder. Many seniors take medications, particularly for blood pressure or heart conditions, that have diuretic effects, meaning they increase urination. Hormonal changes also play a role, especially after menopause, when the tissues in the urinary tract become more sensitive and less elastic, triggering more frequent urges. Sometimes it's not even the urgency that's the issue. It's the fear of not making it in time, which creates a mental loop that keeps you half awake all night. And the truth is, even when you manage to fall back asleep, the cycle takes a toll. You wake up in the morning not refreshed, but foggy and drained, wondering why a full night in bed feels like you never slept at all. But here's what's hopeful. Small adjustments can help. A quiet shift in routine, like reducing fluid intake, an hour or 2 before bed, can make a noticeable difference. It's not about denying yourself hydration, just choosing earlier times in the evening to meet that need. Similarly, if you're taking medications that contribute to frequent urination, it may be worth having a conversation with your doctor about adjusting the schedule. I've known people who switched from evening doses to morning and suddenly found their nights less interrupted. It didn't solve everything, but it eased the burden. What's often overlooked is the importance of safety in these nightly walks. A well-lit path, nightlights in hallways, clear floor space with no loose rugs. These aren't just precautions, they're gifts to your future self. If balance is becoming a concern, a discreet handrail near the bathroom can offer both support and peace of mind. These changes may feel small, even insignificant, but they're not. They're acts of kindness, reminders that your sleep and your safety are worth protecting. If this happens often, more than twice a night, it may be a sign of something deeper, and that too is worth exploring, because you deserve uninterrupted rest. And just because waking up has become normal doesn't mean it should be permanent. The path from your bed to the bathroom doesn't have to be your most traveled road. With some care, clarity, and attention, your nights can become whole again, quiet, unbroken, and finally, deeply restful. There's something about the stillness of night that turns the mind into a theater of worries. All day long, distractions keep your thoughts at bay. Chores, conversations, errands, the soft hum of a television in the background. But the moment the lights go out and the house goes quiet, everything you've tried not to think about takes center stage. A man once said it feels like someone unrolls a scroll in his mind the minute his head hits the pillow, listing every unfinished task, every forgotten appointment, every worry about health, children, finances, or things that cannot be changed. He called it the midnight panic parade, and sadly it's a nightly visitor for many. What makes this worse is that silence magnifies thought. When you live alone, that silence can grow even louder, filling in the spaces with what-ifs and worst-case scenarios. The dark doesn't just dim the room, it amplifies everything unresolved. Your brain, sensing stress, releases adrenaline as if you were in danger, making your heart race and your body alert. But you're not running from anything. You're lying in bed, hoping for rest while your mind loops through fears that daylight tends to soften. These aren't dramatic crises, just the quiet weight of life pressing in, slowly and steadily. What helps isn't forcing yourself to stop worrying, but gently creating space for those thoughts to settle before they have a chance to spiral. A simple notebook on your nightstand can become a place to lay it all down. No grammar, no judgment, just a few lines to get the noise out of your head and onto paper. The act itself is like telling your brain, you've been heard. It's okay to let go now. Pair this with a calming nighttime routine that signals it's time to disconnect. Not the news, not social media, not emails or missed calls. Those only feed the storm. Instead, choose calm voices. A soft-spoken audiobook, soothing ambient sounds, or a guided meditation can slow the racing current of thoughts into something gentler, something almost musical. These calming bedtime habits for seniors don't erase the worries of life, but they teach your body a new rhythm, one that prioritizes peace over panic, presence over pressure. And if some nights are still restless, don't blame yourself. You're not weak for feeling this way, you're human. You've lived a life full of people, challenges, and transitions. The fact that your mind holds so much is a reflection of how deeply you've cared. But sleep is not a place for problems to be solved. It's a place for surrender. So dim the light a little earlier, close the door on the world a little more gently, and remind yourself as often as needed that rest is not earned, it is allowed. There's a quiet kind of relief that comes with closing your eyes in the afternoon, a moment where the body sinks into stillness and the mind drifts off without resistance. But sometimes that brief pause turns into a deep dive, and before you know it, a nap that was meant to last 20 minutes stretches past an hour. One gentleman I knew used to joke that he rested his eyes around 3 in the afternoon, only to wake up confused, drooling, and staring at the ceiling at 6:30, wondering what day it was. That momentary peace came at a cost, because that night, like clockwork, he couldn't fall asleep. He was wide awake until past midnight, stuck in a rhythm that no longer matched his body's natural needs. This is how daytime sleep can quietly sabotage the sleep you need most. Deep, continuous rest at night. When you nap too long or too late, your internal clock becomes confused. It's like sending mixed signals to your brain about when it should rest and when it should stay alert. And while the body may feel tired from fragmented sleep, it hasn't built up enough natural pressure to fall asleep again at a normal bedtime. That's why so many people find themselves lying awake even after an unproductive day. The body isn't fully spent, and the mind, though weary, can't push past the wakefulness that the afternoon nap created. What makes this particularly tricky is that these naps often feel necessary. After a poor night's sleep, it's only natural to seek rest where you can find it. But the solution that feels like a rescue can actually deepen the cycle. Sleep becomes scattered, night becomes uncertain. And slowly the lines between rest and wake blur in a way that leaves you feeling more exhausted, not less. But there's hope in structure. A short nap, just 20 to 30 minutes, taken earlier in the day, can offer restoration without disruption. It's like a gentle reset, not a full shutdown. The best window is before 3 p.m., giving your body enough time to rebuild its readiness for sleep by nightfall. And if you feel drowsy later in the day, try light movement instead. A short walk outside, a bit of gentle stretching, or even organizing a drawer can reawaken your senses without tipping the balance too far. Sleep problems in elderly adults often come from subtle patterns like these, patterns that once made sense but no longer serve the body's evolving needs. By paying attention to when and how long you nap, you begin to support your natural rhythm instead of disrupting it. Because good sleep isn't just about quantity, it's about timing. And the more you honor that rhythm, the more likely you are to wake up not just rested, but truly renewed. There was a time when evenings felt like a gentle descent. You had small, quiet rituals that signaled to your body it was time to let go. Maybe you made a cup of tea, turned the lights low, listened to soft music, or read a few pages of a well-worn book before drifting off. Those small acts weren't just habits, they were transitions guiding you from the busy rhythm of the day into the softness of night. But somewhere along the way, those signals faded. Now, instead of winding down, the hours before sleep are filled with bright screens, endless scrolling, and a mind still tethered to the noise of the world. One man shared, half joking and half resigned, that his nighttime routine had boiled down to shouting, "Alexa, turn off the light," and then immediately opening Twitter for another hour. This shift may seem harmless, even efficient, but it confuses the body. Without clear signals, your brain doesn't know the difference between winding down and staying alert. It continues to release stress hormones, keeping you in a state of subtle alertness, even as your body begs for rest. The glow from screens tells your brain it's still daytime. The scrolling keeps your thoughts racing, and without a break in rhythm, your nervous system never shifts into calm. So even when you finally close your eyes, the body is still waiting, still scanning for stimulation, still unsettled. But this too can be softened. It begins not with drastic changes, but with quiet reintroductions. Give yourself a buffer between the outside world and your inner space. Let the last 20 or 30 minutes of your day belong only to stillness. That doesn't mean you need a perfect, spa-like routine. It can be as simple as washing your face in warm water, dimming the lights, or doing a few gentle stretches. Put your phone away earlier, not as punishment, but as permission to unplug. Maybe play a piece of calming music that makes you feel safe. Maybe light a small candle, or just sit quietly with a cup of warm herbal tea. These calming bedtime habits for seniors are more than routines. They're boundaries. They tell your body, the day is over, you can rest now. And in a world that moves fast, that's a powerful thing. Sleep doesn't arrive when we demand it. It comes when we invite it, with patience, with consistency, and with cues that are soft but clear. Your body is listening. All it needs is for you to speak its language again. Bring back the ritual and you bring back the rhythm. Bring back the rhythm and you'll find the rest. Sleep in our later years isn't broken. It's just different. As we age, our bodies and minds move at a new pace, and what once worked may no longer serve us. But that doesn't mean we're powerless. Understanding these 6 sleep disruptors, from internal clock shifts and physical discomfort to bedtime anxiety and missing nighttime rituals, helps us approach sleep not with frustration, but with gentle awareness. It's not about perfection. It's about creating simple habits that honor where we are today. Shorter naps, soothing routines, calming bedtime habits, and safe nighttime environments. Small changes made with consistency can restore what feels lost. You deserve rest that heals, not just physically, but emotionally. If you've ever found yourself staring at the ceiling at 2 a.m. or pacing to the bathroom with tired legs and a restless mind, know this: you're not alone. Many others are walking this same road night after night. So share your story in the comments below. What's keeping you awake? What small rituals have helped you rest better? Your words may guide someone else toward peace. And if this video brought you clarity or comfort, give it a like and subscribe, because restful sleep is a journey we take better together.